Let me tell you the cold truth. No one gives a shit, and that's the most freeing realization you'll ever have in your life. The moment you understand that nobody's coming to save you, nobody's losing sleep over your problems, and nobody truly cares about your excuses, that's the moment you become dangerous. Because when you stop waiting for sympathy, you start building power. People spend their entire lives crying for attention, craving validation, posting their struggles online hoping someone will care. But let me be brutally honest. The world doesn't care. The world rewards results, not reasons. You can cry, you can complain, you can break down, but success doesn't respond to tears. It responds to discipline, consistency, and action. You want to be respected. Earn it. You want to be remembered. Build something worth remembering. Everyone loves the story of the winner, but nobody claps for the struggler who quit halfway. When I was broke, nobody cared that I was working 18 hours a day. Nobody cared that I was grinding while everyone else was sleeping. But when I started winning, suddenly everyone wanted to know the secret. Here's the secret. No one gives a shit until you win. That's why you must become obsessed with your mission. You have to move like your life depends on it, because it does. The world only starts caring when you give them a reason to care. Every time you feel sorry for yourself, remember this: no one's watching. Nobody's coming to pick you up. The world isn't cruel, it's indifferent. It doesn't hate you. It just doesn't care. And that's your advantage. Because when you stop caring about what people think, you become unstoppable. Most people are paralyzed by opinions. They live to please others. They hide their true ambitions. They settle for average because they're afraid of judgment. But those who rise, they don't beg for approval. They take action. They move in silence. They let their success make the noise. So if you're tired of being ignored, if you're tired of being overlooked, then stop whining and start working. You want respect. Dominate. You want freedom. Earn it. You want power. Build it. Because the truth is simple, no one gives a shit about your potential. The world only cares about your performance. Either you're producing or you're forgotten. There's no in between, and here's the beauty of it all. Once you accept that nobody gives a shit, you become unstoppable. You no longer need validation, approval, or recognition. You're fueled by your own fire. You don't chase attention, you command it through excellence. That's when you become dangerous. That's when the world finally starts to notice, because you've built yourself into someone impossible to ignore. The truth is brutal but liberating. The world doesn't care about your excuses, your struggles, or how hard your life has been. It only cares about one thing: results. People love to romanticize effort, but effort without outcome is invisible. You can talk for hours about how much you tried, how many obstacles stood in your way, how unfair life has been. But at the end of the day, results are the only language success understands. Excuses might make you feel better for a moment, but they don't build power, they don't create wealth, and they don't earn respect. When you produce results, the world notices. When you complain, it scrolls past. That's the difference between winners and everyone else. Winners deliver. Losers explain. You have to stop expecting applause for trying. No one hands out trophies for effort. Life rewards execution. Think about it. The world doesn't remember the almost successful. Nobody studies the man who almost won the race. They remember the one who crossed the finish line. You can have potential, talent, and ambition, but if you don't convert them into results, you're invisible. You can't feed your family with excuses. You can't buy freedom with explanations, and you can't build legacy by talking about how hard it is. The world doesn't measure pain. It measures performance. That's why the ones who succeed are often not the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who shut up, worked harder, and refused to stop until they had something tangible to show for it. Every day you wake up, the clock is ticking. The world doesn't pause because you're tired, broke, or lost. It keeps moving. You're either evolving or being replaced. The only way to matter in this game is to produce undeniable evidence of your effort, not in words, but in results. You want respect. Win. You want attention. Build something they can't ignore. You want freedom. Make yourself too valuable to be dismissed. That's how power is earned, through consistent, visible dominance. People might doubt you at first. They might laugh at you. They might ignore you. But when you start producing results, everything changes. The same people who look down on you will start asking how you did it. That's the irony of success. The world only believes in you after you've already proven them wrong. Stop thinking you deserve sympathy. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It owes you nothing. You can cry about it, or you can use that truth as fuel. Every successful person you admire learned this lesson early. Results are the only proof that matters. You can't talk your way into success. You have to grind your way into it. Words don't pay bills. Discipline does. Results are the receipts for your hard work. They're the proof that you've outlasted your excuses, ignored the noise, and done what others wouldn't. The more you focus on results, the less you need to explain yourself. Because power doesn't explain, it demonstrates. So when you feel invisible, when it seems like nobody cares, remember that's your sign to move faster, work harder, and create something undeniable. Every excuse you make is another brick in the wall keeping you from greatness. Tear it down with execution. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Show them. Let your results speak so loudly that nobody can ignore you, doubt you, or disrespect you again. Because when you produce, the world listens. When you win, the world remembers. And when you deliver results, suddenly everyone who didn't give a shit starts to care. No one's coming to save you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner your life begins to change. It sounds harsh, but it's reality. You can sit there hoping someone will notice your pain, hoping someone will fix your problems, or hoping the world will suddenly become fair, but that's never going to happen. The truth is, nobody's losing sleep over your struggles. Nobody's plotting to rescue you from mediocrity. You are alone in the fight for your future, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. The world doesn't reward the ones who wait to be saved. It rewards the ones who save themselves. Once you embrace that truth, you stop waiting and start acting. You stop hoping and start creating. You stop asking and start taking control. Every second you spend waiting for help is a second wasted. Because while you're waiting for the perfect moment, someone else is out there making moves, building power, and taking everything you thought you deserved. Life doesn't slow down because you're struggling. It keeps moving, and it will leave you behind if you don't catch up. The victim mindset is poison. The idea that someone else is responsible for your success, your happiness, or your growth is what keeps most people trapped in mediocrity forever. Winners understand that the world owes them nothing, so they take everything. They don't cry about what they don't have. They use what they've got, and they build from there. When you stop waiting for someone to save you, you become unstoppable. You start realizing that every answer you've been searching for is already within you. The discipline, the drive, the strength, it's all there. You just have to stop making excuses and start digging deep enough to find it. Because no one is going to fight your battles for you. No one is going to believe in your dream as much as you do. No one is going to give you the life you want. You have to take it. People can inspire you. They can guide you. They can motivate you. But in the end, the execution is your responsibility. You can read every book, listen to every podcast, watch every motivational video, but none of it matters unless you act. This world is full of people waiting for a miracle that's never coming. They pray for luck instead of preparing for opportunity. They hope someone will invest in them, believe in them, save them. But life doesn't work like that. The only real miracle is the day you decide to save yourself. The moment you realize you are the solution, that's the turning point. When you finally stop depending on others, your mindset shifts from weakness to power. You stop seeking sympathy and start demanding results. You stop expecting and start earning. That's when you evolve from being a victim of circumstances to being the master of them. You have to be your own savior, your own motivation, your own hero. Nobody's coming with a plan, nobody's coming with a handout, and nobody's coming to make your life easier. You must do it yourself. Every setback is your responsibility to overcome. Every failure is your responsibility to learn from. Every win is your responsibility to create. You can either keep waiting for the perfect conditions or start building in the storm. Because here's the truth, while you're waiting for help, life is moving forward without you. The strong understand that no one's coming, and that's why they move. The weak keep waiting, and that's why they lose. So stand up, look around, realize that this is your fight. It's your life, your dream, your mission. Nobody can live it for you. Nobody can do the work for you. You are your own savior. And once you embrace that truth, you'll never need saving again. Because the day you stop waiting for someone to rescue you is the day you become truly free. When you finally understand that nobody gives a damn about your problems, something inside you shifts. You stop being afraid. You stop living for approval. You stop chasing validation from people who aren't even paying attention. That realization hits hard at first, but once it sinks in, it becomes the most powerful form of freedom you'll ever experience. Because when you stop caring about what people think, you start focusing on what actually matters. Building yourself. Most people are prisoners in invisible cages, locked behind fear of judgment. They move carefully, speak softly, and dream small because they're terrified of what others might say. But here's the truth. They're not thinking about you. They're too busy worrying about themselves. The world isn't watching, the crowd isn't judging, and no one is waiting to see if you fail. You've been fighting ghosts that never cared in the first place. Indifference is your liberation. The moment you stop giving energy to opinions, you take that energy back for your own growth. Every great achiever, every empire builder, every warrior mindset individual learned to operate without needing approval. They don't dress to impress, they dress to dominate. They don't speak to be liked, they speak to lead. They don't move for applause, they move for progress. Because they've learned that the crowd will always talk, but only results silence noise. Once you embrace indifference, every insult becomes background static, every judgment becomes irrelevant, and every failure becomes fuel. You're no longer slowed down by fear. You're powered by purpose. The reason most people never reach their potential isn't lack of talent. It's the addiction to validation. They want to be accepted more than they want to be successful. They want to be liked more than they want to be respected. But you can't build greatness by asking for permission. You can't rise while staying comfortable in the opinions of others. The ones who make history are the ones who stop asking and start taking. They walk into rooms knowing they don't need anyone's approval because they've already approved themselves. That's what true confidence is, internal validation. You don't need the world to clap when you're already proud of your own work. Once you stop caring about what people think, you move differently. You act faster. You speak with conviction. You become bold, raw, and unapologetic. The chains of self-doubt break because they were never real. They were forged by your own fear of rejection. The same fear that stopped you from posting that idea, from starting that business, from chasing that dream. The moment you understand that nobody's opinion can stop your destiny, you start living on your own terms. You stop explaining yourself. You stop shrinking your ambition to make others comfortable. You stop dimming your light just because someone else is afraid to shine. This world belongs to those who are indifferent to judgment but obsessed with progress. The man who doesn't care what people think is dangerous because he's unshakable. He's free from manipulation, immune to mockery, and unstoppable in his pursuit. While others waste time trying to look successful, he's out there becoming it. Indifference gives you clarity. It allows you to see who's real, who's fake, and what truly matters. When you're not living for approval, you can focus on mastery. You start making decisions based on logic, not fear. You stop chasing people and start attracting respect. So when they talk, let them talk. When they doubt, let them doubt. Because while they're watching, you're working. While they're gossiping, you're grinding. While they're hesitating, you're building an empire. The loudest critics always come from the cheapest seats. Ignore them. They don't feed you, they don't fund you, and they sure as hell don't define you. Freedom begins when you stop caring about being liked and start caring about becoming powerful. Indifference isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the armor of the focused, the mindset of the elite, and the foundation of every unstoppable individual who ever walked this planet. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest weapon if you learn how to use it. Every struggle, every rejection, every sleepless night is energy waiting to be converted into power. But most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid it, and curse it, never realizing that the very thing they fear is what could turn them into something unstoppable. The truth is, pain introduces you to the real version of yourself. When life breaks you down, it's testing your strength, your hunger, your willingness to rise. It's stripping away weakness, exposing your excuses, and demanding to know, how badly do you want it? Pain is life's way of filtering the average from the elite. Most people quit when it hurts. The few who keep going are the ones who change everything. You must learn to respect pain because it is the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't lie to you. It doesn't flatter you. It shows you exactly where you stand. Pain reveals your limits, and if you face it long enough, it destroys them. Every great champion, every powerful mind, every self-made individual has walked through fire. They didn't escape it. They embraced it. They didn't cry about the pressure. They used it to build diamonds because they understood one truth: the deeper the pain, the greater the potential for transformation. Pain is the currency of growth. You can't evolve without paying the price. You can't become strong without resistance. Comfort creates softness. Pain builds steel. When you stop fearing pain and start chasing it, your life changes forever. Most people spend their days running toward comfort, chasing quick pleasures, easy wins, and temporary relief. But comfort is a trap. It lulls you into weakness, while pain sharpens you into precision. Pain reminds you that you're alive. It pushes you beyond what you thought possible. It forces you to adapt, to grow, to evolve. Every failure you've faced, every heartbreak, every disappointment, those moments weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to prepare you. Life wasn't punishing you. It was training you. The world doesn't hand out greatness. It makes you earn it through discomfort. And if you can endure what others can't, you'll achieve what others won't. The next time you feel pain, don't run from it. Lean in. Let it mold you. Let it teach you. Let it burn away the weakness and ignite the fire that's been buried inside. Because pain doesn't just test your body, it tests your spirit. It asks whether you're willing to pay the price for power. And that's what separates those who wish from those who win. The ones who rise aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who learned to turn suffering into strategy. They used rejection as motivation. They used doubt as fuel. They used fear as a reminder that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. You must train your mind to see pain differently. When something hurts, understand that you're being shaped. You're being refined. You're being prepared for the level you've been asking for. You can't ask for strength and avoid struggle. You can't pray for success and reject sacrifice. The pain you feel today is building the resilience you'll need tomorrow. Every challenge you face is sculpting your future self, one who's tougher, wiser, and more relentless. The secret is not to escape pain, but to transform it. Let it harden your resolve. Let it make you ruthless with your goals. Let it silence your doubts and amplify your hunger. When you can smile in pain, when you can work through exhaustion, when you can move forward despite the chaos, that's when you become unstoppable. Pain no longer controls you, you control it. It becomes your weapon, your edge, your power. The world bows to those who are willing to suffer longer than anyone else. So the next time life hits you, don't break, burn brighter. Because the ones who master pain, master life. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you earn through relentless action. You can talk about your goals, your dreams, your plans all day, but talk is cheap. The world doesn't respect words, it respects results. The truth is simple. People may doubt what you say, but they'll believe what you show. Every drop of sweat, every sacrifice, every moment you choose discipline over distraction is building a version of you that demands respect without ever needing to ask for it. You can't fake effort. You can't pretend to be consistent. You can't hide from the work, because when you truly grind, it shows not in what you say, but in the power you radiate. The world recognizes that energy. It's the quiet confidence of someone who's been through the fire and came out sharper, stronger, and focused. Most people want respect without putting in the hours. They want recognition without resilience. But life doesn't work that way. You can't skip the grind and expect glory. Respect is built in the dark, when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering, when you're pushing through exhaustion and silence. That's where the real work happens. The gym, the late nights, the sacrifices. Those moments shape you into someone unbreakable. The world doesn't see those parts, but it feels them when you walk into a room. The aura of earned effort can't be replicated. It's not about arrogance. It's about presence. People sense it when you've done the work. They feel it when you've built yourself from nothing. That's real power. Every day you're being watched by life itself, tested by your choices. You either move like someone who's serious about their destiny, or you waste time proving your worth to people who don't even believe in themselves. You don't get respect by demanding it. You get it by dominating, by outworking everyone else in silence and letting your results make the noise. People can ignore your words, but they can't ignore your achievements. You want to be respected. Then grind like respect is oxygen. Show the world through action that you deserve every bit of success coming your way. Because when you build yourself with discipline, you don't have to chase validation. It follows you naturally. The truth is, respect doesn't come from what you start, it comes from what you finish. Anyone can begin, but few have the endurance to keep going when it gets hard. That's where character is formed. Every rep, every early morning, every time you say no to comfort. That's another brick in the foundation of your reputation. The grind builds credibility. The consistency builds trust. And when you stay unshakable through storms, people stop questioning you. They start admiring you. They start realizing that your results aren't luck. They're proof of discipline. That's when respect becomes automatic. You won't have to demand it. Your presence alone will command it. Respect through relentless action is the art of becoming undeniable. It's about doing what others won't for as long as it takes until you reach a point where the world can't look away. You don't need to announce your goals. Your execution will speak louder. You don't need to justify your ambition. Your results will silence doubt. When you move with consistency and conviction, the universe aligns. People will criticize, mock, and underestimate you until they can't anymore. Because once you start producing undeniable results, even your enemies are forced to respect you. So stop begging for acknowledgement. Stop asking for recognition. Just work. Let your discipline be your declaration. Every second you spend grinding is a statement of who you are and what you're becoming. Respect is not something given. It's something earned. Rep by rep, day by day, through ruthless consistency. When you commit to relentless action, you don't have to prove yourself. The results will do it for you. And in that moment, when the world finally takes notice, you'll realize that respect wasn't the goal. It was just the reflection of your dominance. So stop crying. Stop waiting. Stop expecting. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. Stand up, take control, and show them who the hell you are. Because when you start winning, trust me, suddenly everyone gives a shit.